Hello again, everyone, and welcome inside another edition of the Adam Jones podcast presented by the Baltimore Banner. I'm Jerry Coleman. He's a five-time MLB All-Star. He's Adam Jones. Today in episode number 46, we will be joined by Orioles outfielder Anthony Santander, who's having a terrific season, as are the Orioles, of course. We'll also chat with the Banner's outstanding columnist Kyle Goon about the Ravens season kicking off and some terrible injury news that we have to get to. Adam's going to tell you about his busy week coming up here in Baltimore as he retires as an Oriole. And of course, we get to your correspondence in our Socially Speaking segment where someone will qualify for an Iron Rooster gift card. By the way, we will be at the Hollywood Casino coming up on Thursday night for an Adam Jones podcast watch party, Hollywood Casino Perryville, starting at 6:30. Be there or miss out on a big event. All right, let's get to our featured guest, sponsored by Jimmy's Famous Seafood. He is the Orioles right fielder. They call him Tony Taters. We call him Anthony Santander with us. He does have an interpreter around, but we don't need an interpreter to speak with Tony Taters. And like I mentioned, with the interpreter, I mean, you seem to be more comfortable speaking with the media and even schlubs like us, or me, I should say, and former players like Adam on a podcast. How's your English? How's it come along? Because I still am learning the English language, and I've lived here all my life.
Thank you for having me, guys. I mean, it's been a hard work, coming here with no English at all. We need to put a lot of effort to be able to learn, communicate with the staff, with your teammate, because we're an American, It took me a little bit, my process, but thank God I lost that kind of fear because that's most of the problem, like be able to make a mistake when you talk and somebody laugh or whatever you're saying. I think I lost that, and that helped me a little bit to start learning a little bit more.
Hey, gente.
Hey,
I played with Wilmer Flores, and he told me I just want to go with the English. He told me the reason how he learned English was watching Friends. What did you watch any TV show? And that was his at-bat music also. But did you watch any TV show, or did you take classes, or just put yourself out there and just start talking English?
I do watch a TV show, 2.5 Men. That's my favorite show.
I knew it was something funny. Great show, though. That's a great show.
Yeah. I pick up a lot of stuff from the TV show. But I learned talking with you guys, with my teammates, all the time, trying to pick up like 3 words each day, and after that, be able to put everything together.
I love that.
When I watch you at the plate, I was telling Adam before we started this thing, it reminds me a lot of Adam's approach. Very aggressive, swinging away, never wanting to walk, it seems, which is fine. It's worked out well for you. Is that your mindset when you come to the dish?
Yeah. I mean, I have to stay aggressive. Something that I've been getting better, and I have to keep getting better is in my swing decisions, because when we are too aggressive, sometimes we chase too much. But yeah, I like to make contact. I like to be able to put the ball in play hard to the middle of the field. I honestly, early in my career, I didn't like to get to first base by walk. But I see right now, that's the game. You have to get on base a lot.
You, Mullins, Hayes, you guys are the viejos in the team, because you guys came in 17 and 18, and when it was not pretty, and you guys grinded it out through it. How satisfying is it for you and for Mullins and for Hayes to be where you are now, leading this young group of guys? And you guys are still Hovens too. That means young, Jerry. You guys still Hovens too. But what does it mean to you? Like, when I was there, I was the leader of the team. Now it's your team. It's Mullins' team. It's Hayes' team. When we look at and watch on TV, your name is always there. That means that it's your team. Even 0 for 4, your name is still there. how is it being the leader now, being who the young Latin guys come up to, Urias and I'm drawing a blank, but all the young Latin guys coming up to you and just feeding off your energy?
It's been amazing, like you say, and like we say in Spanish, is we ate the green plantains. Now it's time to eat the maduros. You know what we're talking about, right?
Claro.
The sweet plantain. I mean, that process was around 3-4 years, trying to learn how to play the game. And right now it's been really good with Mullins, Hasty, and I. That we have, we can say we have a little more experience with all the process at the beginning. And the youngest guys, right now, Ali, Gunner, those guys, Jason Rodriguez, those guys look like they have 3 years in the league, whatever. Those 4 years it took us to learn how to play, how to be a good team. It's looked like for them is they knew right away. They get to the league. They got a little bit of struggle at the beginning, but they figured it out. They make the adjustment quick, and I would say that's big key of success. Because we only 3 Orioles veteranos, only 3.
Yep.
But yeah, right now you're excited, and so proud of this thing or what we're doing this season. We showed it last year, what we can do, and still this year nobody believes in us.
Right.
But as a player, you just have to go out there, prepare yourself, and compete. And I'm so proud of this team right now.
But how fun is it though?
No.
How fun is it though? When every day you guys go out there and play, beat people up. No one gives you no one says, oh, the Orioles. It's still the Yankees aren't good. The Red Sox are having a bad year. The Padres aren't playing well. The Mets stink. No, the Orioles are going out there and matando everybody.
Matando everybody.
Why not just give us the love? So I'm saying, how much fun are you guys having every single day knowing that they don't care about us? Let's care about ourselves.
Yeah, it is fun. It is amazing because we know, we know they don't talk about us, and we don't care. We just show up to the field, like you say, prepare ourselves and beat whoever we're gonna face, and you have to continue to doing that. Don't pay attention whatever they do outside. And yeah, man, just keep doing what we're doing. Yeah, beating those teams, and let's try to make them talk about us.
Oh, I think they're starting to talk about you, but you guys don't pay attention to that. Just keep your heads down and doing what you're doing, Anthony. Now, first switch hitter to hit 25 or more home runs since Eddie Murray did it. He's in the Hall of Fame, as you know. Do you prefer the left side or the right side? Do you have a favorite?
No, I like both. I have that mentality time 2016 that I almost get rid of it. That word is tough. Get rid of it. On my right side, it was kind of tough. I didn't do that again. I fade lefty, and when I see that, I say, hell no. Let me keep doing switch hitting. And since that, I got the mentality just to say I'm the same both sides. Because that's a common question. Which hand you feel more comfortable? Which hand you have more power? So I learned myself I'm the same. Just do my health, mental health.
We continue our conversation with Anthony Santander, Orioles outfielder, here on the Adam Jones podcast. But first, let's salute our loyal, dedicated sponsors, including Hollywood Casino Perryville. We will be there this Thursday night for a watch party, And it begins at 6:30, AJ. Be there or miss out on all the fun.
Bring your signed items. I'm sorry. Bring the items you want signed. Chris.
Oh, that's a little shout out to someone who may have forgotten a few things last time around. Adam will be signing autographs again. Hollywood Casino Thursday night, but let's thank all our sponsors.
The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Jimmy's Famous Seafood, Charm City's favorite crab cake destination. Local sports fan, experience the ultimate pregame party at the tailgate. Cheer on the Ravens with iconic live performances, an open bar, and mouth-watering eats. Can't make it? No worries. Bring the same food that caught the attention of the Food Network right to your doorstep. Shipping East Coast recipes nationwide. Jimmy's Famous Seafood is the official sponsor of the guests appearing on the Adam Jones Podcast. And by our friends at the Weinman Company. By Hollywood Casino Perryville. For some, it's a game of chance, but for you, it's a game of choice. Hollywood and Barstool are bringing you more ways to bet in Maryland. Catch all the action in person at Hollywood Casino Perryville at the Barstool Sportsbook, or bet online with the Barstool Sportsbook app. When you download the Barstool Sportsbook app, register, and wager, you can get up to $1,000 bonus cash, plus up to $1,000 when you sign up and wager in person at Hollywood Casino Perryville. Play from anywhere and get up to $2,000. The choice is yours. Must be in the state of Maryland to wager and over 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER. By Jack Daniels, 2 legends, 1 can. Jack and Coke, the #1 cocktail in the world, is now available in a can. Yes, that's true. Jack Daniels Tennessee Whiskey, mixed with Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, are now both available in a can. 2 legends, 1 can. Jack and Coke, ready to drink? Please drink responsibly. Whiskey Specialty, 7% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniels Tennessee Whiskey, Lynchburg, Tennessee. By Effective Solutions, your one-stop shop for commercial contracting. Everything from excavation and site development to emergency remediation and restoration. Effective Solutions specializes in many forms of commercial and mixed-use construction, like leak investigation, framing, trim carpentry, insulation, drywall, painting, wallpaper, flooring, masonry, waterproofing, paving, tree removal, and much more. With a dedicated staff and a commitment to quality, Effective Solutions delivers every time. By G-Leaf Medical Cannabis Only. Visit gleaf.com. Medical cannabis is for qualified Maryland patients only. The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Royal Farms. Download the Royal Farms app from the Apple App Store or Google Play today. New Royal Farms Rewards members will get a free any-size cup of Royal Farms award-winning coffee just for signing up.
Man, sure smells like Royal Farms fried chicken. Best fast food fried chicken in America. You ever try it? Hey, you hungry? Royal Farms world famous chicken. If you haven't tried it, you don't know what you're missing.
And a reminder, if you guys are enjoying this podcast, make sure to check out the Baltimore Banner at thebaltimorebanner.com/AJ to get started.
Let's get back into it. Our chat with Orioles right fielder Anthony Santander continues here on the Adam Jones Podcast.
Hey, a lot of guys don't don't understand, the conversations that go on, obviously, with the umpires, with catchers. And obviously now there's a ton of Latin umpires that have been able to grace the game, a lot from Venezuela, most from Venezuela, I remember, and then from Dominican and obviously Puerto Rico. How awesome is that, though, to see that not only are players coming, that like Venezuela is not just represented by the peloteros, but you guys get some umpires. And you guys might have futures or history back home in the motherland. But how cool is it to see that there's more diversity with the Latin umpires now, and you can go there and be like, oye, fuera, hey, bajiste, hey, vámonos. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can be more comfortable.
That's good. That's good. I think that we have like 3 Venezuelan umpires and a couple Dominicans, and there's a couple guys from in the league from they know, yeah. But it's amazing. I wish they were here when I didn't know the English that I know now. Because I'm beginning my career. I want to say something. Oh my God, there's no English. No English. But it's good, man. It's good for those guys that they don't speak the language. They have the opportunity to say something, because as a player you get mad, and at least you want to say something. And if you don't speak the language, it's tough. Having those guys, you mad. You can say a bad word, sometimes. It's good, man. And besides that, I mean, Latinos represent here in America, and that's amazing. We feel proud, our country and Latin American. It is great.
I don't believe you've ever been ejected, correct?
Correct.
Okay, good. We'll hopefully keep that streak going unless some umpire does you wrong. I did want to ask you about the team. I know maybe behind the scenes you guys have set some goals, but Tampa's coming to town. You're starting this big 4-game series. All eyes will be on Baltimore. Maybe the biggest series the Orioles have played this year. The team that's on your heels. What about the way things have gone against the Rays this year? You guys have certainly held your own after trouble the last couple of seasons.
Just keep doing what we're doing. It's a large series. We don't have to worry about nothing. We just have to go there and prepare ourselves and compete. We know there are pretty good teams. We also are a great team. That's the beauty of this game, anything can happen. You just have to keep that mentality and prepare yourself. That's gonna be good. It's gonna be a really good series. I think it's gonna decide the division, because they 3 games away. There's 4 games, but you have to focus on what we can control, which is prepare, play hard, and the results is gonna be there.
Hey, gente.
But the most important thing about that series is that my gente is gonna be there on Friday.
See, I don't want to mention that. Yeah. You excited about that?
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, I'm excited about it. My gente, I learned a lot from this guy. And he always got my back with Kirby.
Always, man. Leave him alone.
Oh, no, I want to hear a story. You got a story for us about AJ maybe that we haven't heard, Anthony? Come on.
I got one. I think that was a play. I don't remember the team. So the baseball have a book, but as a player, you always follow your instincts. So there's a play in the outfield, and then I follow my instinct that I throw the ball to the base that I thought I have to throw. And I remember I get to the dugout, and the outfield coach started talking me trash, blah, 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 blah. You have to throw the ball to the other base. And Jonesy came right there and said, no. He made the right decision. Just leave the kid alone. Let the kid play. Yeah, I remember.
Always, man. You gotta think for yourself out there. And Kirby be tough on people, as he should. This is the game, and you want to win. But hey, he made the right throw in my eyes. I'm watching the game too. If you ain't got no chance, make the right throw.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's bring in Brandon.
Yeah, let's bring in interpreter Brandon, who wasn't even needed during this podcast.
Yeah, we don't need him. But I want Brandon. I wanted to ask you a question that you were able to translate. For just for everybody, how awesome, and Anthony, you understand this too, but how great was it for you to be able to represent Venezuela when you have such a history of some of the greatest players in our game are Venezuelan guys, with Miggy and Victor and you go back to Miguel and Melvin Mora, and the list goes on. And how amazing was it for you to be able to represent your country, and you're hitting third?
Hey, I start hitting 7.
Yeah, it's okay.
7.
Yeah, in the early rounds, they see you out in front. They say, "Nah, we're in the third."
Oh no, yeah, third. Yeah, that was crazy. I never expect that. Never. But like you say, I mean that was amazing. That was a great opportunity, and I'm so happy and thankful we got to be able to put Venezuela in my chest. Be in the clubhouse with those guys, Miggy, Altuve, Salvador, that was a great experience, unforgettable experience, and I mean, I would say that's gonna be in my memory my whole life. I mean,
Yeah.
something incredible, man.
Well, very cool having you on, Brandon. I just want to know, have you started to teach him Japanese yet? Is that next?
That's the next step. We're getting there.
Hey,
All right.
always with the interviews, I need my men around just in case. So sometimes I like the other day. I mean, we were in Arizona, and it was an early game, and I literally just wake up when I got to the field, and my brain didn't wake up. So they asked me some normal question that I normally understand every time, and my brain was blah. I don't understand nothing. And you see, that's why I got my men around.
And that's why you need coffee in the morning too, right?
Yes, you do.
Hey, we can't thank you enough. I guess the only Spanish I know, I'll say adios and bueno, luck. I think that means good luck. Half English,
No,
half
buena
Spanish.
suerte, man.
Buena suerte.
Yeah,
No, you don't know nothing.
What they
But no,
say.
I mean, I wanted to, but Brandon, we can redo all this, but I wanted to ask you though, it's like, how awesome is it for you? Because we never had an interpreter. I never had an interpreter besides for Koji. So like the experience and the roller coaster that you're on in this experience, like the previous years, you guys weren't that good. The team wasn't good, but now it's good. So how is it for you and your cell phone blowing up? Are you on TV more? Your parents are like, it's not just the players. Obviously, they get all the love, all the recognition, but you're on the field next to these guys on some of these times, some of these interviews on national television, and your phone has to be blowing up from this kind of excitement.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy and it's a blessing in every way. These guys are a lot of fun to be around every single day. Everything you see on the field is exactly what you get behind the scenes. Just a clubhouse full of great energy, a lot of really good guys. So they make work a fun place to come to every day. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, every time me and Tony go out there and he goes, my man, every time I get a text from my family and whatnot. So I'm just super thankful for all of these guys for, just making it a great environment and a great place to be at every day.
All right. Well, yep. Now we can set you free. We appreciate it. And again, we're calling you Tony Taters. I heard Jimmy's Famous Seafood mention that first, and hopefully you accept that nickname going forward.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. Both Brandon and Anthony Santander joining us here on the Adam Jones podcast. And AJ, he's been such a joy to watch. First time we've had a chance to have him on the podcast. Won't be the last, but trying to become the first Oriole to lead the team in home runs and RBIs since Chris Davis did it back in 2012, 2013.
Mm-hmm. Hey, he's improved himself every year, every facet. He's approaching 30, the even better years of his life and career. And I love the maturation. He speaks English. Like, these are all things that are bigger than life, and he'll be speaking English the rest of his life. So I'm just amazed, and it's fun to see him out there leading and being the catalyst of this team. I told him how proud I was of him at the WBC because, when you get to represent your country, especially Venezuela, when they have a lot of people to pick from, it's the same with Team USA. Like, that's super prideful. And, he's just special. The man is special, and I just love what he's doing. I love his swag on the field, and don't throw him a fastball in. I don't give a damn how hard you throw.
My favorite part was learning English on watching 2.5 Men, as you said. Before that, Wilmer Flores with Friends. That is fabulous.
A lot of guys, like in the minor leagues, they would watch shows. Me, being a black dude, I was like, watch Martin or something like that. And a lot of the older guys would watch In Living Color. Would watch Red Fox and stuff like that. So each generation, they had their shows that they would watch, but they would tell me that it just helped them with normal conversation and make it comfortable. Because if you just start going out and having conversation in a different language, it's really uncomfortable, like Tony said. So it's when you can see interactions and reactions, because English is tough, and we use a lot of reactions and stuff like that. So. It's always fun to hear the stories and see what they watch, but I didn't know 2.5 Men was in there. But that's a great show. It has a lot of a lot of stuff going on there. So I'm sure he learned a lot of different connotations and things. Because
well, you invoked the name of the late great Red Fox, and I grew up watching Sanford and Son, and that has shaped my life.
You see, exactly. That's just aging you. You know what I mean? So that's all it's doing. You woke up speaking English. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm just well, barely. I wish I learned Spanish and didn't, pay that no attention in high school. Could have gone a lot further with not only the ladies but baseball locker rooms, as I've said before.
100%. Bilingualness is good.
All right, moving along to our For the Birds segment, and the Birds this week are the Ravens we're talking about. We bring in Kyle Goon, Baltimore Banner columnist, back on the Adam Jones podcast. We're grateful for that. Kyle, you were at the game on Sunday against, of course, a Texans team that was beaten down by the Ravens. But in the end, the Ravens were beaten down a little bit by the injury bug, and especially J.K. Dobbins. I would imagine when you entered that locker room after the game, it was a bit subdued despite the victory.
Yeah, it definitely tamps it down. And in week one, there's so much emotion and guys getting so much off their chests and have waited so long. These guys didn't play in the preseason. And then you go in that locker room where they have a double-digit win and guys are just muted. People are saying, Kevin Zeitler was saying, we lost, a great soul of the team, great energy guy. Patrick Queen had a moment up on the podium where he almost looked like he was about to weep. And I think people just kind of feel for JK, a guy who was already torn an ACL, now to tear an Achilles, a really, really tricky injury to recover from. So just a lot to kind of sort through. And the Ravens, just a costly victory, definitely a lot more than they expected to pay in week one.
So, I mean, obviously, you mentioned big blow, especially a guy who's worked his tail off to get back to this position. You're trying to get him, Andrews, OBJ, Lamar, all on the field at the same time, and it's just been a tough battle, a tough go. But again, when it comes to sports, it's always the next man up. And Justice Hill obviously proved that by scoring 2 touchdowns. He's my wife's client, Access. But also, what impact is Melvin Gordon going to have now that, taking him from practice squad, hopefully putting him on the active roster, the growth, the veteranness, the career he's had, and, what are the impacts of the running back situation? Because, some things, it's always next man up in the NFL.
Yeah, I really think Melvin Gordon could have a huge impact, honestly. And when you look at the 2 running backs that the Ravens have healthy, between Justice, kind of smaller, more elusive, maybe more of a factor in the passing game, and Gus Edwards, who's just sort of a battering ram, a guy who just kind of works with physicality. I think Melvin Gordon is something in between that, where the one thing that was kind of dogging him in Denver was that he was fumbling, and he says he's gotten his shoulder right. He's going to be doing a better job with ball security. We saw some good things in the preseason from him. And obviously the Ravens felt strongly enough to keep him on. I actually do think that we'll see something from Melvin Gordon. It's honestly just a position that you need a lot of talented bodies. And I think he can kind of fill a role in between the ones that Gus Edwards and Justice Hill already have.
An interesting stat came on during the game on Sunday, and it said that the Ravens are roughly 2,000 receiving yards less than everyone else, basically, since Lamar's taken over the helmet at quarterback. They also need to show the winning percentage because that's the only thing that really matters at the end of the day. But people are focusing on the offense and obviously the receiving core, OBJ coming in, the targets for him. I look at it as like, okay, well, he didn't have that many targets, but Zay Flowers was open. He's got himself 7 to 9 receptions, like things like that. Like he's not open, but it opens up doors for everybody else. So explain that to the listeners about, what's going to happen with these receivers, because OBJ is going to be covered and other guys are going to have to step up and going to get their shine.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the first piece that the Ravens need to get together that you saw in the first half is the pass protection was breaking every which way, and Lamar is scrambling for his life out in the pocket in that first half. And then they come out in the third quarter. They have that, what John Harbaugh called the settle down drive. And from there, they kind of methodically were able to pull away. But I think when it comes to the targets, I definitely like to see OBJ get targeted more, Rashad Bateman target a little more. And we're almost not really talking about how he's coming back from injury, and he's missed a lot of time, a former first-round pick. But Zay Flowers, almost 50% of the passing game targets were to Zay Flowers, a rookie. And he had, Adam, I'm sure you were probably doing some of those, trying to recreate the joystick moves, the jukes. I mean, doing some stuff that we all only do on a video game. I think Zay is going to be fantastic. And I'm not saying he'll set any records or anything, but I think he'll be all over this passing offense. I think his and Lamar's reps together in Florida have a real connection, and Lamar is looking for him, especially in a game where the Ravens didn't have Mark Andrews, who's probably their best receiver. Hopefully Mark Andrews comes back, but then, I think Zay will have a huge imprint and in the weeks to come as well. And Cincinnati next week, baby, that's going to be fun to watch and see if the passing game takes some steps forward.
Do want to ask you about that in just a moment, but I want to go back to JK and Patrick Queen, because JK is entering the final year of his deal. Queen's in next year is the final year of his deal. Queen is in the final year of his contract. You talked about his emotions, but this guy keeps on playing, didn't sit out, hold out, anything like that. JK took his time coming back, and then this was just terrible luck for him. I wonder what the future holds for both of these guys.
Yeah, and I think that was the connection there, the emotional connection, because Jeff Schrebeck from The Athletic asked, well, you've said that JK was sort of in the same situation as you were contract-wise. I mean, inside linebacker, another sort of devalued position from salary standpoint, and the Ravens already drafted a potential replacement for Patrick Queen. But I think Sunday you saw the value of Patrick Queen, the guy who got the first sack of the season for the Ravens, really drove the pass rush, and was a really dynamic force with Roquan Smith. And I actually think he's going to prove a lot this season, just based off of how dynamic the defense looked rather, with him and Roquan in the middle.
Well, you just led me into my next question about Roquan, man. He has lived up to all the hype. He was well paid, represented himself in the offseason, already is asserting himself. We knew he was one of the best in the NFL, but he was everywhere last Sunday against the Texans.
Yeah, he was tremendous. And I think, had a couple fourth down stops. I was pretty surprised D'Amico Ryan went for fourth down stops against those guys in the Ravens, and they were not rewarded by that. Roquan was a huge part of that. 16 tackles, I believe, just making his presence felt with his physicality. There's going to be some time, I think, for this offense to figure it out, even going into the next couple of weeks against division opponents. But I think we saw enough evidence that the defense is going to pick up the slack a little bit.
Before we let you go, I would ask, when 2012, when the Ravens, obviously they've been on a roll, the Orioles became good again and more relevant. How awesome was it at the atmosphere, just as fandom? Obviously, football's back. We know it's Sunday. Football is back. Nobody is important except the Sunday football teams that we root for. But how awesome is it seeing and hearing that, okay, and people paying attention to the fans, that what the Orioles doing, the Ravens game, what the Orioles doing, to where we're checking on both of our franchises now because we're both in it.
Yeah, I mean, and actually they were playing Orioles highlights in the stadium. So that, I mean, as you point out, Adam, it's a great time to be a sports fan in Baltimore. Maybe why I came back, who can say?
One of the best reasons to leave LA.
Yeah, but it's a really cool thing. I mean, I was talking to my editor over the weekend, and he said, when was the last time people had to choose what they were going to watch on TV between the Orioles playing the Red Sox and the Ravens playing the Texans and kicking out the season? So just really exciting times. Definitely the atmosphere was there. There were people at the stadium wearing Orioles stuff. So the cross promotion, that's really where it's at.
It's a beautiful sight, no doubt. Final thing for you, Kyle, is Cincinnati. We mentioned they're headed there on Sunday. The Bengals got their butts kicked by the Browns. They're going to be angry. But this is a team that's in front of the Ravens. This is a team they need to get by. The last two AFC championships, they've been a part of it. The Ravens haven't.
Yeah. And I'm sure the Ravens are going to be really gunning after what happened in last year's playoffs and thinking about that. But man, yeah, they got smacked. Joe Burrow signed that contract, went to the stadium and got his butt kicked. So I'm sure he's out to prove his contract was worth it. But I really think the Ravens are going to pull their offense together a little bit, especially on the passing game. I mean, they were so rough. There were so many penalties. I think we see a lot of obvious areas for them to improve. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them come back and win another one in Cincinnati against a tough Cincinnati team. So the Bengals maybe a little bit more slow starting traditionally. They had a slow start last year. And the Ravens are going to be looking for vengeance for last year's playoffs.
He is Kyle Goon. Go ahead, Adam. It's
But I'm saying,
like
like,
another.
there's a question, but like, isn't this? And I was talking to my wife watching the game. Is we complained about every play in the game, but isn't that Ravens football? Like, you complain about everything. They didn't throw enough passes. This was bad. The blocking was this. Too many penalties. They won the game. It's not pretty, but they win. Like that's Raven football. Smash mouth, play good defense, figure it out on offense, and win the game. Like it's not gonna be the 30-3 beautiful scores like that. You don't get those with Ravens. You get some just head scratching wins, which at the end of the day, it's all it's about. It's about the W's.
I don't know if I could put that better, honestly. Yeah, it's the eternal conversation about the Ravens every year. It's like, oh, what's going on with the offense? How can they make the offense better? And then the defense comes out and flattens the opponent. And
Every week.
Every week. So, yeah, I think you got something there. You're onto something.
Yeah.
Game.
Well, Kyle, you got a good dilemma. You got to figure out how to divide your time between the Orioles and Ravens as the Banner's columnist. We appreciate you coming on, and as always, and we'll catch up with you again soon. You can find Kyle at the Baltimore Banner at baltimorebanner.com. Go out and read his column. Thanks, Kyle.
And good luck on Friday, Adam.
Thank you.
Let's go beyond Baltimore, where Adam is right now, but not for long. AJ's coming back into the Charm City this week. How are you feeling as you get set to retire as an Oriole on Friday night at what should be a jam-packed Camden Yards? I know I'll be there.
I seen that it was sold out. You'll be there because it's free. No, but
You don't have to tell everyone that. I'm covering it as a media member.
It's
allegedly.
I think it's the perfect way to go out. I can't go out as a Buffalo. I think I said that before. It's a line. But no, the first time me leaving Baltimore in a uniform was not the most ceremonious for the fans. I think this is more for the fans. Obviously, it's for me and my family and friends. But as an athlete, you get closure because you understand the business. I think this is for the fans and for us, everybody to share, everybody to celebrate. You know, I mean, I sent the thing to my wife about what's going on and stuff, and she was like, "This is really cool. You had a really good career there." And I'm like, when you put it in perspective later, and Connolly used to always ask me, what about your career? And I'm like, when I'm done playing, I'll sit down and be able to look at it. And now I'm able to do that. And it's like, well, damn, when you put it in paper and put it in writing and you put the stats down next to the people and see the names, I'm like, oh damn, I had a solid run at it. You know what I mean? And it was fun. But I played 11 of my 14 years in the black and orange. And that's who I'm always going to be known as. That's who I'm true to when it comes to baseball. That's who I watch when it comes to baseball games. I'm in the Padres because of obviously where I'm from. But my identity is in Camden Yards, and that's home to me when it comes to anything. When it comes to sports, obviously, I grew up there, 22 to 33. I got married, 2 kids there. Like it's, the city raised me and taught me a lot about myself and a lot about another city that adopted me. I'm from San Diego, and my family, my mother, who loved the city so much, she was there at every opening day. And I wish she was able to join us Friday, but she's unable, obviously. But she'll be there in spirit. I know that she will. And, it's the proper way to go out, and let's celebrate. And I think the most important thing, though, it's coming at a good time where we're not trying to fill the seats. We're trying to put more notice that the Orioles are back, and the Orioles are back to back to stay because I'll never forget September 6th, 2012. It was Cal Ripken Statue Night. We were playing the Yankees. We took a big lead. They came back. We ended up hitting a lot of home runs to take the lead. But that night solidified ourselves at like, okay, everybody in baseball, we've been playing around with y'all all year. We've been competing. We're here, and y'all going to have to deal with it. And I think the Orioles are proving that. But I think on September 15th, it's going to be a rowdy Friday night, and it's going to be fun. And let's celebrate me for a little bit, but most importantly, let's celebrate those young Orioles going out there and putting their foot on people's throats, because as a baseball fan, it's so damn fun to see.
And as we mentioned with Anthony earlier in the podcast, this series with the Rays is as big a series the Orioles have played all season long. You could argue this is the biggest series all year in MLB.
Yeah, big time. Unless there's, Blue Jays or Mariners, anything with the West, that wild card, like, this is the series, because you're talking about the division. Most divisions, are kind of in a way kind of leaning towards being locked up. But the East is still it's still some fun to go. And hey, they can clinch a playoff berth. Berth. Just clinch a playoff berth. That'd be great. I go out there and pie somebody. I don't care. I'll pie, man. I'm somebody. I don't care who it is. Okay. If they do that, I'm pieing somebody.
Well, that leads me to my next question. What is the plan? First pitch, speech, Mr. Splash, pie guy. What's on the agenda?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw a first pitch. Obviously, me and Mr. Elias, we're gonna, and I believe Angelos sign a contract. Obviously, go through the formalities, shake hands, kiss babies, hug it out. But throw the first pitch. Hopefully, have my kids by my side, and and just, I guess, have a nice big ceremonial video and stuff like that of me diving and crashing into walls and hitting homers and stuff like that, and then watching a good game. A lot of people are coming into town to celebrate it, and just be able to see them in a good capacity, and just feel the love in the room, and root on the O's. It's going to be a sold out game, so the energy in the building is going to be live.
Well, I will be there in a working position, filming it all for posterity's sake, and enjoying some food and drinks as well, I'm sure, in someone's skybox. Let's wrap up the podcast as we normally do with another edition of Socially Speaking. This is where we answer a tweet or social media post. We're on X, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. You can find us on all three platforms at Adam Jones Pod, at Adam Jones Pod. Please don't forget to rate the podcast. That's how you become eligible for a gift card from the Iron Rooster. And we tried to show you the way to rate the podcast. Play the clip.
On your phone, go to Podcast. Then type in Adam Jones. Now you're at the Adam Jones Podcast. Then just follow us. It's free. And rate us. 5 stars would be great. Now that was easy, right?
All right, so Adam, this week via X, Carla at AllRack85 writes, who's the one pitcher you wish you had an opportunity to hit against in your career that you didn't, obviously?
It's always a good question. I mean, this is obviously people in 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever years ago in different eras. But mine was somebody that I faced, but it's two of them. I faced them at the very end of their career, so they were not who they're known to be, and that's Pedro Martinez and Randy Johnson. And the third is Roger Clemens, because in 2007 we played the last game, Roger Clemens' last start. And I was with the Mariners, and I didn't play, and I'm just watching like we out. Like, why not let a 21-year-old get carved up real quick? But I would have loved to face those guys, because obviously the Hall of Fame stuff. 2 of the 3 guys are Hall of Famers, but these guys were dominant. Pedro being 5'10". Soaking wet, 110 pounds in a velour outfit with then you got the big unit with plus this slider. Like, these are the game's most feared and some of the best. I would love to get in the box against him. I would love to get in the box against Nolan Ryan. He gonna throw you a fastball. I don't give a damn how hard you throw. You gonna throw me a fastball? That means you gonna come after me. Hey, if I strike out, mano y mano, let's go. And he'll drill you and he want to fight. So, hey, buttons already pushed. So, like, I would have loved that. like it's just I would have just loved to face the game's best pitchers because you want to face the best competition. And baseball has I've been awarded to face some incredible Hall of Famers, and I would have loved to face every last one of them if God would have allowed that.
Well, I look forward to recapping your tremendous night on Friday on next week's edition. We want to thank our sponsors as always and remind everyone we will also be at Hollywood Casino Perryville on Thursday night starting at 6:30 to watch the Orioles. You can come out and be a part of it. We'll answer your questions. Adam will sign your autographs as long as you're nice.
Chris.
We'll take care of it. I think Chris got the message.
The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Jimmy's Famous Seafood, Charm City's favorite crab cake destination. Local sports fan, experience the ultimate pregame party at the tailgate. Cheer on the Ravens with iconic live performances, an open bar, and mouth-watering eats. Can't make it? No worries. Bring the same food that caught the attention of the Food Network right to your doorstep. Shipping East Coast recipes nationwide. Jimmy's Famous Seafood is the official sponsor of the guests appearing on the Adam Jones Podcast. And by our friends at the Weinman Company. By Hollywood Casino Perryville. For some, it's a game of chance, but for you, it's a game of choice. Hollywood and Barstool are bringing you more ways to bet in Maryland. Catch all the action in person at Hollywood Casino Perryville at the Barstool Sportsbook, or bet online with the Barstool Sportsbook app. When you download the Barstool Sportsbook app, register, and wager, you can get up to $1,000 bonus cash, plus up to $1,000 when you sign up and wager in person at Hollywood Casino Perryville. Play from anywhere and get up to $2,000. The choice is yours. Must be in the state of Maryland to wager and over 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER. By Jack Daniel's, 2 legends, 1 can. Jack and Coke, the #1 cocktail in the world, is now available in a can. Yes, that's true. Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey, mixed with Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, are now both available in a can. 2 legends, 1 can. Jack and Coke, ready to drink? Please drink responsibly. Whiskey Specialty, 7% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey, Lynchburg, Tennessee. By Effective Solutions, your one-stop shop for commercial contracting. Everything from excavation and site development to emergency remediation and restoration. Effective Solutions specializes in many forms of commercial and mixed-use construction, like leak investigation, framing, trim carpentry, insulation, drywall, painting, wallpaper, flooring, masonry, waterproofing, paving, tree removal, and much more. With a dedicated staff and a commitment to quality, Effective Solutions delivers every time. By G-Leaf Medical Cannabis Only. Visit gleaf.com. Medical cannabis is for qualified Maryland patients only. The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Royal Farms. Download the Royal Farms app from the Apple App Store or Google Play today. New Royal Farms Rewards members will get a free any-size cup of Royal Farms award-winning coffee just for signing up.
Man, sure smells like Royal Farms fried chicken. Best fast food fried chicken in America. You ever try it? Hey, you hungry? Royal Farms world famous chicken. If you haven't tried it, you don't know what you're missing.
All right. Thanks to our senior executive producer, Chip Franklin, for putting this episode together. Chip never panics nor stops telling baseball stories. Both are endless. Go out and subscribe to the Baltimore Banner. Be real, be kind, and make sure to be back next week for an all-tell episode of the Adam Jones Podcast. Adios.